In other informations, the final stage of the historic trial that will render the verdict on the coup attempt case of former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro has already begun. From Brasilia, journalist Heloisa Villela gives us the details.
Hello, listeners of teleSUR. This is Heloisa Villela, and I'm in Brasilia, the capital of Brazil. Right behind me, you see the Federal Supreme Court. And here today, we had one more step done in the trial, that is deciding if former President of Brazil, Jair Messias Bolsonaro, attempted a coup to stay in power despite having lost the election. Today, it was the time to listen to the final arguments of the defendants, their lawyers. So they took the chance to defend their clients for an hour each one. 4 of them presented their defenses yesterday, and today we had the last 4. We heard from the lawyer for former President Bolsonaro, and the lawyers for 3 generals. So in this trial, it's a very historical moment because we are, for the first time, putting on trial a former president and the very high-ranked generals of the armed forces. Today, the lawyer for Bolsonaro tried 2 different approaches. First, he was trying to convince the judges that the testimony of Bolsonaro's main guy, the Mauro Cid, his right arm, we can say that, the guy that was working with him every day, solving all his problems, taking care of the situation in the palace. He gave testimony saying that Bolsonaro did call the command forces and the Minister of Defense to discuss the possibility of adopting special measures that would put the military in charge of the country. So his lawyer, Bolsonaro's lawyer, try to sustain the argument that the testimony of this guy should not be considered because he was invited back again and again to finish his testimony, and he would remember things later, a few months later, and give details that he didn't give in the first, second, or third time. So that was the main line of Bolsonaro's defense. The problem with that argument is the accusations against Bolsonaro do not depend exclusively on the testimony of Mauro Cid, because Bolsonaro himself, here at the Supreme Court, said that he did have a meeting with the high-ranking commanders of the armed forces to discuss those special measures, although there was no reason in the country for that. He was exploiting all the possibilities not to hand over power, and that's the main accusation against him. So he confessed to these discussions. We don't need Mauro Cid's testimony to prove that point. So his lawyer, although it doesn't matter that, his lawyer still worked very hard to disqualify the testimony of Mauro Cid, and that was his main defense. But we also heard from lawyers of the other 3 generals that are also trying to disprove the accusations against them. Mauro Cid's testimony was also very much fought against by the lawyer of General Braga Neto, which was running as vice president for Bolsonaro in the last election. The testimony of Mauro Cid said that he received some money from this General Braga Neto that was supposed to be given to people that were organizing protests and things like that. So he also tried to disqualify Mauro Cid's testimony. Now we are going to wait and see what the judges have to say. We have 5 judges in this trial, and next week on Tuesday and Wednesday they gonna start stating their votes. The first one will be Alexandre de Moraes, which is the minister, the judge in charge of the case, and then the other four will follow him, and we cannot wait to see what they have to say.